Hi, this video is to provide information about the Elmiron lawsuit and litigation as of the beginning of 2023. It's also to talk about is now the time for the Elmiron global settlement. Elmiron is a drug that's used to treat a bladder condition. However, unfortunately, far from the bladder, this product allegedly has very bad effects on the eyes or the vision. It's been known to lead to partial or complete blindness or eye damage. Your rights, if you've used this product for an extended period of time, may be affected by when a public notice went out linking this product to vision problems. And that's a couple years ago. So if you've taken it and you've suffered from vision problems, you better consult with an attorney right away to understand what your rights are. In my instinct and experience as a master tort attorney, doing this type of litigation for many, many years, right now is one of those pivotal points in which the global or everybody's cases may potentially resolve. And that's because there's a process where certain people's Elmiron litigation goes to trial. It's called the bellwether process. And certain bellwether cases are about to be tried, and there's a risk for each side. And when there's a risk for each side, there's a lot of times that's a great opportunity for resolution because each side could factor in the risk in terms of trying to price out what a potential resolution of the matter is. So once again, it's a good time to consult a lawyer. A lot of times, if there is going to be a global resolution, there's a census that's taken about what plaintiffs actually exist out there, so the defendant can factor in how much, if at all, it needs to set aside for a potential resolution in the case. You can't be counted if nobody knows about you. So you need to go forward. Speak now or forever hold your peace. You may have heard that saying before. Well, now's the time to engage Elmiron counsel if you've been affected by the product. I want to go over some of the frequently asked questions that people ask about the Elmiron litigation. Who can file an Elmiron lawsuit? Well, anybody can. Anybody can who's taken it, generally, like our firm's criteria, somebody who's taken it for 6 months or longer and has suffered some degree of visual impairment that's been documented, not hypothetical, but actual visual impairment or some actual cognizable effect that's impacted vision or the eyes forever. That's the criteria we take. Other firms may take things that are a little more attenuated. We try to take the more serious matters. You can file it yourself. There's a saying, he or she that files a lawsuit themselves has a fool for a client, because there's so much complications in the legal process. The litigation itself is housed here in New Jersey, where one of our offices is located. We're located in Jersey City, one of our primary offices, and it's been consolidated as a mass tort within the New Jersey court system. The question people ask, what's the status? I think we just, the Elmiron litigation. It is headed towards the bellwether process. There's a multi-district litigation where mass torts, multi-district, one judge acts as a special master overseeing all the issues of general liability. That ruling or those rulings may impact everybody's cases, as well as a settlement may impact anybody who's been counted on the census or has filed their case. People always want to know, how much compensation can they potentially receive from their Elmiron lawsuit? Well, that's always a big footnote. It depends. Number one, will the plaintiffs be able to prove liability, that the product indeed caused the harm that's complained about, that the product failed to warn about the harm that's complained about? If so, damages can be several $100,000 depending upon the vision impairment. If you look at comparable types of cases, in a mass tort and in a settlement, you never get dollar for dollar everything that you think you're entitled to. I mean, if you ask somebody at the beginning of the day how much they would take for loss of vision in one of their eyes, they wouldn't take tens of millions of dollars. But that's not the nature of a mass tort settlement. Mass tort settlement, there's thousands of claimants. Right now, I think as of this video, there's like 1,300 people who are in court. And that has to be factored in. They're not going to settle everybody for 100%. They'll settle it on a matrix generally. If they do settle it at all, for my guess is it'll be in the several $100,000, and it'll be on a scale depending upon what the length of the Elmiron usage, whether or not there's any personal factors that may also contribute to blindness and or vision conditions, which could be hereditary, family history of conditions, etc. And of course, severity, pre-existing conditions, severity being very critical. If you had 20/20 vision and now you're blind or partially blind in your eyes, those damages will be higher on the scale if you took Elmiron for a significant period of time versus somebody who's just taken it for a few months and has almost no impairment of their vision. The second case is not something we would take. The first, we certainly would. How long does it take to resolve an Elmiron lawsuit? Well, the life of mass tort litigation, unfortunately, is significantly long. Generally, it is 5 to 7 years. But where we are right now, my guess is you may have a settlement in principle in under a year, but it still could be another year after that to get paid. There's a whole process involving liens, which I don't want to get into in this particular video, but that can impact any case before a plaintiff is paid at the end of the day. Tricky little thing. The medical care provider, particularly if it's the federal government as a payer or anybody else for that matter, has a right to lien against the client's portion of the money for the treatment they did for the underlying injury that's complained about. Can I get a settlement from Elmiron litigation? Well, our best instinct is, yeah, you might be able to. Nothing's ever guaranteed. It looks like it's potentially trending in that direction. That's my instinct, but you still don't know. So you balance out whether you can get a settlement versus what the commitment is on your part. Right now, the commitment on your part as a potential victim of this product is to sign up with an attorney, let the defendants know about your claim, and wait. You probably will not have to sit through a deposition or a trial. So you just have to fill out probably a few pieces of paper with the chance of getting compensation. If you ask me if it's worth it, yeah, it's almost certainly worth it to go through that part of the process. Some cases with mass litigation will go further along. Individuals will be deposed and there'll be trials. Generally, that's like winning the reverse lottery. It's like 0.001% of mass torts take that trajectory. If you go to trial, you have a lot more to lose and a lot more to gain if you're the first trial or one of the first trials through the door. Plaintiffs tend to lose as many as they win, so if you're one of the trials that's lost, you recover nothing. Some of the cases in which the plaintiffs win, they tend to, quote, ring the bell, which is get huge verdicts. So if you're the beneficiary of that, you can potentially stand to get huge recovery, but nothing's guaranteed. You're generally safer as a plaintiff being in the middle of the pack and seeing what trajectory the case is going to take with the first few plaintiffs before you put yourself at risk, kind of trying to lock in a settlement rather than trying to go for everything and anything that potentially you can get, because you have just as much chance, if you're playing the odds, of getting zero as a large recovery. So you probably want to lock in a result if there is a result to be had. How do I participate in the Elmiron litigation? Well, the first step is to consult with an Elmiron law firm like our law firm, Brown LLC, by calling 877-561-0000. Even if it's not our law firm, we encourage you not to sit on your rights. Now is the time to act. If you've taken this product for more than 6 months and you sustained a vision or eye injury, now is the time to speak up. Let your voice be heard. Let yourself be counted. And potentially, if there is an Elmiron settlement, potentially partake in that Elmiron settlement. Please call us for a free consultation about your rights.